NBC 10 Breaking News.
Good afternoon. I'm Tracy Davidson. Philadelphia Mayor Cherelle Parker is now giving an update on the city's response to the DC 33 union strike. Those 9,000 workers went on strike at midnight. She just walked up to speak. She is at the Tustin Rec Center. The rec center's just one area that's been impacted by this strike. Let's listen.
Let me start by saying good afternoon, everyone. I wanted to repeat, as I said in my post on social media much earlier today, that I regret to inform you that as of 12:01 a.m. today, District Council 33 officially went on strike. The City of Philadelphia put its best offer on the table. Unfortunately, District Council 33 did not accept it. It's important to me that you all know that the City of Philadelphia remains committed to reaching a fair and fiscally responsible contract with our municipal workers who are members of District Council 33. We are ready, willing, and able to resume negotiations with the union. In the meantime, we are laser focused on providing essential city services that our residents both need and deserve. We will continue to ensure that public health and safety is our #1 priority, and this includes, but is not limited to, police and fire services, sanitation, water, recreation, and streets. All of these essential services and others will continue to be provided by the City of Philadelphia to all of our residents and neighborhoods. For the record, you can receive updates on service availability through the city's free text alerts at Ready Philadelphia, and get updates to your phone by texting 888-777. And in case of emergencies, especially for our seniors, please call 911, or for any additional city services, you can still call 311. Before I talk about the state of our service delivery to our residents on day one of this work stoppage, I have several things that I'd like to address. First, it's extremely important to me that the tax-paying residents of the City of Philadelphia know the facts associated with the quality of the offer from the city to District Council 33 that their leadership opted to turn down last night when they walked away from the negotiating table. We put on the table for the hardworking members of District Council 33 an historic offer, Philadelphia, a 4-year pay increase over my first term that totals over 13%, more than any other mayor has in one term in over 30 years offered to District Council 33 during contract negotiations. We believe it's a fair offer, and it's still fiscally responsible for the people of this city. In addition to that historic pay increase, we offered an expansion of District Council 33's pay plan or pay scale, and that is to offer what we refer to as a 5th step. The proposed creation of a new 5th step in the District Council 33 pay plan, it's a significant advancement for our workforce. Why? Because for too long, District Council 33 employees reached the top of their pay scale with no additional increases available, actually limiting their growth despite years of dedicated service. Thank you for getting comfortable. By expanding their pay scale, the city is aligning the District Council 33 pay plan with those of other city bargaining units. What is this doing? It's promoting parity and fairness across our workforce. It ensures that our career civil servants who keep Philadelphia running every day continue to see meaningful salary progression throughout their careers. But as important is our pay increase proposal and the offer of a fifth step for District Council 33 members, we put more important offers on the table for the membership. Many of you who attended the multiple town hall meetings that I, along with my team, held across the city of Philadelphia while we were going through our budget process in advocating for our home program. And that was just several weeks ago, working in partnership with our City Council President, Kenyatta Johnson, all members of City Council. We approved a new city budget that includes a $2 billion home plan for Philadelphia that includes the building, preserving, and restoring of 30,000 units of housing in the city of Philadelphia. What you didn't know, if you didn't attend any of those town hall meetings or you weren't in the negotiating meetings last night, is that I outlined to District Council 33's leadership how our home programs like the One Philly Mortgage, the Turn the Key program, the BSRP Plus program, the Shallow Rent program were all developed with people like our District Council 33 members in mind. Now I have to digress just for a bit. This very popular plan called Turn the Key, a housing program to build more units of affordable housing that working class Philadelphians would be able to afford, was something that we worked on during my tenure as a member of the City Council of Philadelphia. I can remember the former leader of District Council 33 standing with us along with our former council president, Darrell Clark, as we proudly proclaimed and unveiled this new program called Turn the Key, because our ultimate goal and long-term objective was to make sure that members of our municipal workforce could actually afford to live here. We instituted the program. And then we paid attention to the results. It was not providing the results that we desired when the program was established. Why? Because District Council 33 members and other municipal employees, they were not getting approved for mortgages. I want you to imagine what it feels like to get up and go to work every day here in the city of Philadelphia, to work hard, and you can't meet the underwriting criteria of a prime lending institution so that you can afford a home. Well, I had the benefit of that lesson. So when we worked to unveil the home program, we made sure that the One Philly Mortgage program was a part of it. Why? Because we wanted a vehicle to ensure that while we were building and preserving and restoring 30,000 units of housing, we could guarantee that members of our municipal workforce and other Philadelphians would have an opportunity to own a home and qualify for a 30-year mortgage. The men and women who are members of 33, who live and work here, you've heard me affirm, I understand their challenge. And instead of just talking about it and complaining about it, I did what a good leader is supposed to do, in my opinion. When you are in tune with the real life lived experience of those people you represent, Your job is to figure out how you will use policy and scarce resources to develop solutions that will address the challenges that the folks you represent are feeling and experiencing in real time. And I'm proud to tell you, Philadelphia, that we did just that. What is this menu of options in particular? Designed with District Council 33 members in mind and all of our municipal workforce in mind. If you attended my meetings, you heard me talk about these programs also being what I would refer to as talent retention and attraction tools that would make Philadelphia more economically competitive and hopefully incentivize people to want to come and work with us. BSRP Plus provides free home repairs for homeowners to correct electrical, plumbing, heating, limited structural, carpentry, and roofing emergencies. How many times have we heard City of Philadelphia workers saying, I work here, I can't afford to make the repairs. I can't just walk into a bank and get a home equity line of credit, but I need to make repairs to my house, and I don't qualify for the city's existing programs. We made sure that we created BSRP Plus. Next, why is that important? Because we increased the eligibility requirements so that you can earn up to 100% of the area median income in our home initiatives to qualify for this program. You heard me mention that new One Philly mortgage program. What is it? Low-cost mortgages for more home buyers, provides a 30-year fixed-rate loan with a low down payment, very low interest rates, and removes the need for private mortgage insurance. And the city will work with financial institutions to create a more user-friendly mortgage product. And you can earn up to 120% of the area median income so that you can qualify. Why does this become important? Because if you can't meet the underwriting criteria in the prime industry, you'll never have access to the opportunity to be a homeowner. Next, Philly First Home. It offers home buying assistance, grants to first-time home buyers, reducing the principal, and covers down payment and loan closing costs. You can earn up to 100% of the AMI, and you can get grants for those closing costs and down payment assistance up to $10,000 or 6% of the home's purchase price. That's important. Next, the shallow rent program that's property-based. I've heard many City of Philadelphia employees say, you're talking about home ownership. I'm a renter in the City of Philadelphia, and I can barely afford my rent. What is the shallow rent property-based program? It is for renters. It expands the shallow rent program to buy affordability and market rate apartment buildings. These programs that you just heard me mention, they are unprecedented, because if you want to live in a market rate apartment building, but you cannot afford to pay the rent, this shallow rent program is what would help to close the gap for you and give you an opportunity to be able to afford your rent. I also made very clear to President Boulware just last night that all of these housing programs developed by my administration in partnership with the City Council were developed with his members in mind. Philadelphia, and still the union walked away from the bargaining table. I want you to tell me when in the history of the City of Philadelphia has a quality agreement, a fair and fiscally responsible agreement like the one that we've just put on the table, that outside of that agreement, access to opportunities for home ownership, for home repair, and to assist in rent. What mayor in the history of the City of Philadelphia has ever fought hard to make sure that our municipal employees had direct access to these programs? I'll wait. The other issue that I wanted to address today are the reports of various incidents that have occurred overnight and earlier today at some locations associated with this work stoppage. What have we heard? We've had reports of property vandalism at certain sanitation centers across the city where residents need to be able to drop off their trash. Philadelphia Police Department, Commissioner Bethel, he will address these incidents. I want to be clear to the people of the city of Philadelphia. Nothing and/or no one will deter us from delivering city services to our residents during this work stoppage. We will do everything that we possibly can to ensure that we're making your public health and safety our #1 priority. Trash and sanitation in particular, that's a major topic on everybody's mind. How will the city dispose of my trash during this work stoppage? You know that there will be no residential collection of trash or recycling effective today on Tuesday, July 1st. Residents should refrain from placing any trash or recycling out for curbside collection until further notice. We are arranging for 63 temporary drop-off locations around Philadelphia where our residents can bring their trash in the event of any work stoppage. And this is one of them where we are holding this press conference, 5901 West Columbia Avenue at Tustin Playground. We will clearly and specifically list every location where the public can take their trash, and it'll be listed on phila.gov/sanitation. Residents are asked to bring their materials to drop-off sites on their normal trash day. In true City of Philadelphia mode, I received some communication for some residents who had identified that there were senior citizens who lived on their blocks, and they knew who they were, and many of them were not mobile. What were those residents attempting to do? They were attempting to collect the seniors' trash to drop it off at a drop site for them. That, Philadelphia, is something that I am very grateful for during this crucial time. We are going to continue to monitor these locations. If the work stoppage lingers and more capacity is needed, we will be expanding to additional locations. Director Carlton Williams, he's going to provide more detail in a few minutes. Here is where we need residents' assistance. You heard me talk about do not place anything out for collection. Please don't illegally dump. Only bring trash on designated collection days. Yes, please give us some of your patience and please work with us as we do our very best to ensure that we provide these services. Make sure that you can contact www.phila.gov/sanitation or 311 for any further information. 4th of July. The 4th of July celebration will go on as planned. We will be on the Parkway all day on the 4th of July. All 4th of July festivities will go on safely and successfully. We will be at Independence Hall in the morning, so please keep your holiday plans. We are now going to hear from our Managing Director, Adam Teal. Then we'll hear from our Police Commissioner and Clean and Green Director, Carlton Williams, in that order.
I think we've all seen through her actions during her mayoral administration and many years before, Mayor Parker's commitment to our unions. And I want to reiterate, we want DC 33 to come back and accept this fair and fiscally responsible offer. And I am so proud of the workers across our city government who have stepped up since midnight this morning and done everything they can to keep our critical services operating. And they have. Our 911 calls have been answered. We've had police and fire units, our firefighters, our paramedics, our police officers responding to incidents continually without missing a beat. The water is safe to drink. Last night, even before midnight, we had other members of our dedicated City of Philadelphia workforce locked into their work locations and ready to deliver all of these essential services. We had crossing guards, as advertised this morning, on the street to protect our children. We had rec centers, crossing guards with clearances, substitute crossing guards with the appropriate clearances in place to protect our children. We had rec centers and pools open as advertised today. And let me reiterate, the water is safe to drink. These people are working hard around the clock, 24/7, 365, until their brothers and sisters from DC 33 come back to work. And they will continue to do that for as long as it takes to get the job done. What we cannot have are acts of sabotage, obstruction, or worse, destruction of our city facilities, acts against our residents, businesses, and visitors, and our other dedicated employees who are filling in these roles. Right. We need your help. We need our entire city's help together to get through this until our valued DC 33 colleagues come back to work. Thank you.
So good afternoon, everyone. First and foremost, at 12:01, when the strike occurred, we went into our strike posture. I want to commend my executive team, as well as my command staff and the men and women on the ground. The mayor gave us our charge, that you were to keep the city safe, to make sure that we're effectively doing our job, and they are answering that call, and I'm so grateful for the work they did. We have moved into our 12-hour shifts, which gives us an increased level of manpower on the street to deal with a myriad of issues. I know many of you have seen some of the issues that have happened over the day. As the managing director indicated, we respect the men and women of District Council 33. We are with them each and every day. We will give them their First Amendment rights to engage in the picketing and the activities. But what we cannot do is allow individuals to cause harm to others, to vandalize and destroy. And we will investigate those matters as if any other matter that happens, both for the city employee or anybody of the community. So my charge is to them, we will respect you. We do respect you. But we cannot respect when you get outside of the bounds and engage in activity that is destructive or causes harm to others. One of the things that we're dealing with now is our 911. The most impact for the police department is our 911 dispatch. At 12:01, through our team, we have been training in anticipation of a strike. We're always in somewhat of that mode. We activated that plan, and so we are pulling men and women from our patrol asses, from our front line, to come into radio to move our system. We have a very, very complex dispatch system. We've narrowed that down to make it very functional. We got through overnight. It continues to be a challenge, but the men and women are meeting that charge. As a result of that activity, we have gone before the courts, and I have a colleague here from the law department Andrew, who will step up and give you some updates on where we are in the testimony, who I did along with the fire commissioner as my colleague in court today.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Commissioner. The city filed 3 preliminary injunctions today in the Court of Common Pleas. The first one was a Water Department injunction, which seeks to compel a specific subset of employees from the Philadelphia Water Department to return to work. These employees perform critical functions on the maintenance and operation of water purification and waste management systems across the city of Philadelphia. The city sought this injunction because the potential failure of water treatment facilities, pump substations, and wastewater treatment plants creates an imminent threat to the health and safety of hundreds of thousands of people. The second injunction, which the Commissioner just referred to, seeks to compel employees who work in the 911 call center to return to work. A temporary restraining order for 1 week was granted in this case, determining that DC 33 represented employees who are assigned to the 911 call center will return to work. A third injunction was a mass picketing injunction. It seeks to compel all members of DC 33 to stop blocking access to city facilities. While the city supports all lawful protest activity, members of DC 33 have engaged in unlawful blockage to city facilities across the city, going so far as to park their personal vehicles and city fleet vehicles in front of entrances to water treatment facilities, to sanitation facilities, and to healthcare facilities, prohibiting the city from accepting delivery of mission-critical chemicals for water treatment and for the public to deliver their trash and receive health care. Thank you.
So I'll just end with that. I mean, again, we will continue to meet the charge of the mayor and this city to keep the city safe. We are very fluid in our operations. Myself, Commissioner Stanford, Commissioner Healy have been in the EOC, Emergency Operations Center, since early this morning. We will remain in our posture to support the city and to support all of my colleagues here on their needs as we go through. And so I will end it there and pass it all back to the mayor.
Thank you, Commissioner Bethel, and to my team. I want to say a special thank you to each of you, everyone, those who have been working around the clock since the strike started at 12:01, and members of my executive team. I need to say to each of you that I am grateful for your leadership. I am grateful for the hard work that the men and women who are part of your teams have provided to the city of Philadelphia. My message to the members of District Council 33 is that we need you. We need you, members of District Council 33. What I am saying and publicly affirming to you right now for our city to see is no secret. You are our human infrastructure. Our city works, yes, because you do. Every bit of the commitment that I made to residents of the city of Philadelphia to make it safer, cleaner, and greener with economic opportunity for all, none of it happens without you. I've made that clear. That is why I am happy that I don't simply say I stand in solidarity with the members of District Council 33 in word. The offer that we put on the table, that is indeed. It is what you can tangibly see, touch, and feel. It's an increase in pay. It's an increase in economic opportunity. It's access to an opportunity for home ownership, for home repair, and assistance for your rent. I've heard some other electeds talking about standing in solidarity with District Council 33, and I think that's nice. Anyone who has a seat at an elected table, I will hope that they would use their solidarity as leverage to bring some tangible resources home that we can add to the package that we put on the table to offer District Council 33, respectfully. I now want to take some questions. Yes, ma'am. Okay. So it's Susan Slauson here from Parks and Rec. She's going to come and give an answer to your question, and then Clean and Green Director Carlton Williams, he's going to give an update.
Thank you for your question. And so we've had to cut some hours, but our centers will still be open Monday through Friday from 9 until 5. We would normally be open during the summer from 9 until 9 p.m. But we're going to continue all of our after-school programs as opposed to having 60 pools open. As of yesterday, we had 40 pools open, and it's always a time where we open 10 a week until we have all 60 of them open. Our plan was to open 60. We have 40 open now. As a result of this strike, we will have 25 open and 1 public school pool open. So you'll still be able to bring your young people. You'll still be able to use your facilities. All of our rec centers are still going to be open, but we do have to cut our hours. Some of our staff, they'll be doing double duty. CJ back here, who operates this center, he's going to do the work of a few people now. He'll be cleaning this facility because we still want to make sure clean, safe, and green doesn't go away because of this. Our job is still to make sure that our citizens come into our facilities and they're young people and they're still coming into clean, safe facilities.
Thank you. 1 second. We're going to let Clean and Green Director Carlton Williams, he has some trash updates for us.
Sure. Thank you, Mayor, and thank you for your leadership. I also want to thank Commissioner Shipman and her team for executing and implementing the plan to provide options for residents to properly dispose of their trash. You are at one location right now. This is why we selected this area at 5901 Columbia Avenue. And you can see already residents have complied by using the drop-off center in an appropriate and respectful way. Many of the members of the community have come up. They placed their trash. We have existing staff members out there who are being very helpful and helping out our elderly. I saw reports of people helping residents bringing their trash, and the elderly and those who are disabled who couldn't bring it here, bring it to this location. And this is exactly how we wanted it to work, by having neighbors support. So we thank them for their patience, their cooperation, and certainly their understanding during these very challenging times. Let me give you an update and reemphasize some of the things that the mayor just talked about the operation. Our sanitation and convenience centers were scheduled to be open this morning at 6 a.m. and open till 10 p.m. We've had heavy picketing at those locations, as you've heard. We're working with our law department and our police department to open up access so the public can use those areas. But we're very happy to report that 90% of those drop-off centers that we had scheduled for 5 p.m. today are now open for the public to be able to access. And we will continue to add those locations, as the mayor said. Those drop-off locations will be open from Monday through Saturday from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. The sanitation convenience centers will be open 7 days a week when we get access, from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., 7 days a week from Sunday through Saturday. So these are the critical components that we want residents to know, to be able to have options and opportunities to properly dispose of their trash. We have received reports of some illegal dumping around the city of Philadelphia, and we are responding to those as we get that information. We're asking residents to continue to report those heavy areas of dumping to 311, and we will take our staff to be able to address those issues as they come up. Recycling is extremely important still. We will continue to accept that at our drop-off centers, again, when we have access, and we expect that to happen really soon. I just want to end on a note that the mayor and Commissioner Bethel said, and we understand that this is a very difficult process, but we want people to respect each other, respect property, but most of all, respect our workers who are out there still trying to do a job under these difficult situations that are not represented, and respect the citizens. Unfortunately, we've heard incidents. Most of the areas have been peaceful, but we've had some incidents where residents were disrespected, where trash was actually thrown at them, and we cannot tolerate that. And any employee that is found in that situation will be held accountable. We are not playing with that. Respectfully, we understand your right to strike, but we also need to understand and respect the rights of those who are working and our citizens who are just trying to do something basic to them, like get rid of their trash. Please, I implore you not to engage in that type of behavior. We will be looking. Thank you.
One second, Teal.
Before we go back to the mayor, this is a very dynamic situation, as we've talked about. We will have live blog updates continually at phila.gov/work-stoppage. That's phila.gov/work-stoppage, stoppage with 2 P's. Don't ask me to spell it. Madam Mayor.
Lauren?
At this particular site that we're at right now, there is trash on the ground in some places. If a resident shows up at one of these sites and there are people who are blocking the way, or those doors, those gates are closed, what do they do? You've given them this option, but it's not really an option if they can't get in.
I want to ask our law department, along with Carlton Williams, our Clean and Green Director, to respond. They have been monitoring in real time on the ground what is happening in all of those locations. So I want to start, Andrew. I want you to come back from a law perspective.
Thanks for the question. And we would ask that any citizen who faces those challenges to report those, to call 911 or to call 311 and report those challenges that they're facing. So we're aware of those.
What do they do with the trash
1 second now. Here's the
Sure.
director.
And Lauren, I understand that you got to understand that the magnitude of this shift is going to be some challenges, right? So when we cannot collect the trash the way we normally have, people aren't getting the message. So you have to let it take time to resonate with the residents of what they should do with their trash. Right now, we have 63 locations throughout the city of Philadelphia. When you log on to our website at www.phila.com/sanitation, you can put your address in, and it will give you options of where to go. There's a list of those 63 locations in addition to the 6 sanitation convenience centers. It's certainly working out here in West Philadelphia at 5901 Columbia Avenue. You don't see trash sprawled around the neighborhood. You see people riding up to the dumpster, handing it to our employees, and it's being placed in that dumpster. It's going to be circling. It's just started, and you have to give us time and patience, which we've asked the citizens of Philadelphia to endure during this challenging time. Next question. Our plan was to drop the dumpsters as close to the strike deadline as possible. This is why we started to deploy them yesterday and at these different locations throughout the city of Philadelphia. We're still rolling that plan out, and we're still addressing that. But when you have 2,000 tons of trash per day, these are the resources that we have available. In the mayor's words, we're doing the best that we can with the resources that we have. Thank you. Absolutely. So right now, we're actually looking at bringing in additional trucks to support our operations to clean up those illegally dumped locations and sites that you have ultimately identified and complained about. And we'll continue to roll out additional locations if the capacity that we currently have is not satisfactory.
Have you had to cut any lots?
Excuse me?
Have you had to cut any lots?
Have we had to cut any lots? At this point, where that is working with the police department and civil affairs to address those when we have reports of that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sean?
Mayor, you made a number of references to acts of vandalism. Were those all like trash sets? Can you provide any details? And were there any that were not at trash sets in other locations?
Well, you just heard Director Williams give an overview about trash being thrown at some residents. Lauren, even in her question, affirmed that some Philadelphians were attempting to follow our instructions and drop their trash off, and they weren't allowed entry. In addition to that, I know on my block and in different areas across the city, fire hydrants were turned on this morning for water to just run. And when I walked out the door, I remember looking, saying, wow, like, what's the fire hydrant on both sides of the street doing on? I was then notified that we had collected footage and video of a car pulling over the top of the block, person jumping out, turning on the fire hydrant. I then learned that that was something that was occurring in different neighborhoods across the city, and that the strategy behind that, which is reckless, is to hope that the city of Philadelphia's water pressure, the amount of our water pressure, is lowered. Philadelphia, I just want you to stay with me for a moment. Was it just Sunday? We were on the 1900 block of West Bristol Street where there was an explosion. Did we not just watch what happened on the West Coast, where access to water was a matter of life and death and saving property? That is the kind of reckless behavior that you heard Commissioner Bethel, Managing Director Teal reference that we won't tolerate. If anyone has, like what has been collected, the photos along with the video footage of that occurring, you do exactly what was done in the instance that I'm referring to and forward all of that information to the police department where it is thoroughly investigated like they would any other crime. Yes, Sean.
It seems like there's a number in between there. Like, how close is it?
Oh, Sean, let me just say this to you. I want nothing more than to see District Council 33 members come back to work. No one does their job better than they do. They live here, they're residents here, they know this city, and they're subject matter experts in their job. So are we doing everything that we possibly can to get back to the table? We are, absolutely, and all of that will be determined. The city of Philadelphia can't get to the negotiating table and sit there and negotiate with ourselves. That's just impossible. We have to have District Council 33 at the table. I've said to the city of Philadelphia on multiple occasions that I want nothing more than for us to reach a fair and fiscally responsible agreement. And President Boulware understands that that's my goal. Can you repeat your question so people can hear you, Tom?
One of the non-economic issues on the table is the request by DC 33 to give up the city residency requirement. Whoa.
I want to say to the people of the city of Philadelphia and the residents of the city of Philadelphia that long before I became the mayor of our city, I have always been a strong advocate for residency for our municipal workers. I want our municipal workers to be a part of the city of Philadelphia because they are a part of the fabric of our community. Now, I know some folks have mentioned to me that in the past there were some mayors who negotiated the opportunity for others to live outside of the city. But I know in order for the city of Philadelphia to maintain the amazing diversity that we have here. And when I say diversity in terms of demographic, I'm talking about race and class, socioeconomic status and zip code, ensuring that working families here in the city of Philadelphia live in the city of Philadelphia has long been a priority of mine, Tom. I do not support the elimination of the city of Philadelphia's residency requirement. I want our municipal workers to live here in the city of Philadelphia. And quite frankly, Tom, it's not enough for me to just say it. That's why the home initiative was so important. The home initiative was important because I couldn't be a council person and now the mayor who says, municipal workers, I want you to live in the city of Philadelphia, but I'm not doing anything in a tangible way to make it possible for you to own a home, to rent a home, and or to fix up your house. So while other people talk, we acted on it. So no, residency is a no-go for me. Yes, yes. Yes.
You've been listening to an update from city officials in their response to the DC 33 strike. The mayor saying Philadelphia put our best offer on the table last night. Police Commissioner Bethel says they're running 12-hour shifts to increase manpower on the streets. And perhaps most importantly, the city has filed 3 injunctions in court today against the union. One, to compel a specific subset of workers working in water treatment. Secondly, to compel 911 call center workers to return to work. And 3, the mass picketing to stop blocking access to city facilities, which we have reports of. There have been heavy picketing reported at trash drop-off locations, and we're continuing to get that update. We're going to continue to listen to her, and we have reporters around the city seeing the response and how the people who live here are responding to this.